It's a Teen Talks Kitten podcast where I embarrass myself. Hello, and welcome to episode 123 of a Teen Talks Kitten podcast. My name is Vango, and I hope you guys are all doing very, very, very well. I do like that number 123, 123. It's a good number to have, of course. But yeah, make sure you guys share, follow, like. Is that the order they want me to say it? Like, share, follow. Like, share, follow, share, and like. Who knows? Make sure you follow, share, like a Teen Talks Game podcast and help the podcast grow, I guess. I hope you guys are doing well. It's been my first full week of summer, no school, no nothing to do. I cannot tell if I'm being super lazy and just unproductive and I'm just a complete waste of space in society that does not need me, or am I just like relaxing after a really stressful school year and things like that? I cannot tell. I don't, I guess I like being productive. I guess I like doing work and stuff. And I feel terrible when I'm like not doing anything. But like, I don't know, summer is the time to not really do anything because then when I do things, I just get stressed. So like nobody knows what the perfect balance is and nobody knows like what my brain psychology actually wants me to do. And I guess that is fine. But I hope you guys are doing very well. It's definitely getting hotter where I live. I hope you guys are staying out of the sun, hopefully. Maybe you like the sun. I don't know. Maybe you like the sun and you like to do summer things. I don't know. I don't really like the sun. It's awful. I hope it's not too hot where you live. I hope the ice hasn't melted around where you live. I hope you still have access to an ice skating rink so you can do some skating. But yeah, I guess we should probably head into our main episode. Actually, our program of the week first. But our program of the week and then into our main episode, which this one is a fun one. Not fun, actually. Not fun. But it's a good one. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, let's head over to program of the week. Program of the week. Okay, friends, our program of the week this week is a special program, a very special program to me because, oh my gosh, when I saw that this existed in the world, I was so happy. This is actually from an ice show that just happened recently, I believe last week. I don't know if they're a tour or they're just like a one off night kind of thing, but this is from Kazuki Tomono and Yuna Aoki from Fantasy on Ice 2026. This was posted on Reddit by user So Fast, So Maybe. I like that username a lot. But Kazuki Tomono and Yuna Aoki, they're both single skaters from Japan, and so obviously doing a duet is a little unexpected, a little different, but they did this for Fantasy on Ice 2026. Both of them have used the La La Land soundtrack respectively in two different free skates that they've done. And this gala program, this show program, is a combination of those two La La Land programs. And it's genuinely so fun and so satisfying. And I love this idea so much. They've both skated La La Land separately. They're both, single skaters. Obviously, they don't skate in pairs or ice dance together or anything, but combining two programs together, getting it together. It's so I love it. I love it so much. But this La La Land, I mean, I love La La Land. I think it's one of the best figure skating warhorses. I truly would watch a million La La Land programs. But the program starts with Kazuki's choreography more in the sense that he's like at the piano. He's actually at a big keyboard. And then he lands on the ice, and then there's this cut to Yunayoki skating in the spotlight all alone. And it's kind of the beginning of how her program starts and her elegant kind of like small back spiral. And then they kind of meet up, if that makes sense. Not meet up, and then they kind of split apart and they're skating really fast around the ring. They're both doing axles at the same time. They kind of meet at the middle. They do these two beautiful spins. Yuna Oki has just such a beautiful layback position. I feel like her blue dress is beautiful. Kazuki Tomono is wearing the same shade of blue in his shirt. It's so good. It's so good. And then the music kind of slows down to, like the love theme from La La Land. And they really do become Mia and Sebastian. They, have this kind of waltz moment together. They're kind of holding hands. They're doing a little, romantic waltz together. And both of them are smiling at the same time. Kazuki Noona, Yuna Aoki, they're so good at performing, really sell the program. They're smiling, they're in love, they're waltzing around. And then it switches to Another Day of Sun, which is, a lot more upbeat. And they kind of have a very, very fast kind of step sequence. Again, some of it is Yuna Aoki's choreography, some of it is Kazuki Tomono's choreography. And so the two programs really blend together well. Of course, they're using the same music, but it blends together so well with different choreography. But they do the fast step sequence together, lots of jumps and flips and, lots of different difficult turns, beautiful twizzles from Yuna Aoki, of course. They kind of split off again, though, at the very end of the program, and they end up kind of moving apart, but they do Kazuki Tomono's famous ending to the La La Land program, which is, skating really, really fast around the rink, like really, really fast, just in circles, motion to the audience, big hands, big jazz hands here, big jazz hands there, beautiful. And then they end up in the middle and they kind of squat down and jump back up. And it's another day of sun and they kind of burst out with their hands. And I love it. I love this. Of course, like this is just a show program, but like I wouldn't mind this at a gala. I hope they do it at a gala at a competition one day because this is just one of those programs that's so fun. I love the concept that both of them have done La La Land in the past with their free skates for competition, and now combining them two and combining their music selections together and that waltz in the middle together is so beautiful, and it's such a good program and I love it so much, and it cheered my, I think it was Saturday or Sunday last week I saw it cheered me up instantly. So yeah, go check it out. Aoki, Kazuki Tomono at Fantasy on Ice 2026. This was posted by user So Fast So Maybe. They're programmed to the La La Land soundtrack by Justin Hurwitz, and it's a beautiful program. So yeah, now it's time for our main episode. That was your program of the week. Okay, friends. So our main episode this week is, another one of those episodes. Like I don't know why I haven't really made this in past years, but this season I really wanted to make this. But of course, as I've been saying over the past like 2 months, the season is over, so I can really do whatever I want. And this week I thought it was a very, appropriate time. I guess June, it's like officially like summery, and there's nothing much to do. In terms of figure skating, there's nothing much to hear about. But some of the biggest news in the off season, after the world is over, after the Olympics over, after all the competitions are over, some of like the bare pieces of news that we get from the figure skating, from the figure skaters themselves that we get to hear about as a community is lots of retirements, lots of splits and partnerships in pairs and ice dance, and lots of new partnerships in pairs and ice dance. And it's very common actually to have these after Olympic season. I mean, you spent, the last 4 years, this past Olympic quad, working towards the Olympics, and now, you want to end off on a big bang. And then so it's very common for a skater to, be done with the Olympic season, and they're like, "Yep, that's it. I'm retiring. I'm done. This is." I've achieved everything I wanted to achieve in figure skating. I don't want to compete anymore. I'm very glad to have gone to the Olympics. Yeah, 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 yeah. And so that's a common attitude. People have other plans in life. They want to start families. They want to go to school. Are maybe too injured, maybe to continue further in the sport. They want to transition into more coaching, choreography, other things in life. They want to have regular jobs, etc. And so there's like 5 billion reasons why a figure skater would retire. But after the Olympic season is, a very big prime time to do it because you just came off of, maybe one of the biggest competitions of your life, an Olympic experience, and now you're good. You just feel good. So yeah, let's retire. But it's also very, very, very common to have splits and partnerships for pairs and ice dance. Of course, many pairs and many ice dance teams don't stay together. Partners don't stay together for their entire lives, their entire careers. They're having cases where yes, they were together for a very long time and they stayed together throughout the majority of their big, big, big time in the figure skating world. But it's very common to have splits and partnerships. After the Olympics, they have different goals. One partner might want to retire while the other partner wants to keep on skating. And so they naturally have to split and find someone else. That's a very common case. We'll talk with that today. I think just after the Olympic season in general, skaters tend to reevaluate their goals, reevaluate what they really want out of figure skating, see where they're at, see where the judging maybe has been, think about other opportunities maybe that they could have with other partners in other countries. And yeah, and so there's just a ton of reasons why people would split. I don't think it's not never, but I feel like when people think of splits, they think like, oh, the two partners are like, they are, in so much drama. They hate each other now. They're so mean to each other, stuff like that. But I feel like in general, it actually tends to be quite tame. And the reason is usually they have different goals in life. They have different motivations now. They have different, ideas around skating and where they want to be in the figure skating world. So we'll see a lot of that as well. But yeah, with that in mind, you know, out of splits usually comes new partnerships. These two skaters split up. One of them retired, and the other one's actually looking for a partner, or they just found a partner, or they literally found a partner the day after, things like that. And so with all of that in mind, I'm going to go over a lot of that today. Retirements, splits and partnerships and new partnerships. So I'm going to start with the retirements. For men's, women, pairs, and ice dance. And I'm going to talk about the splits and pairs and ice dance as a separate segment, and then also the new partnerships as we go along in each of those splits, if that makes sense. And yeah, technically, I know the season technically ends on June 30th, and so it hasn't finished yet, but like, I don't care. I'm sorry. Honestly, I have to admit that I really thought Grand Prix assignments would be out by now. I don't know maybe why they're not out yet. I do think like the past few years they've been around the first week of June, and so this is the first week of June. And so my original plan was to do, the episodes about Grand Prix assignments because I thought they would come out, and I was waiting until today, literally. And so I don't know, kind of not last minute. I had this idea in mind to talk about retirements and splits and new partnerships and everything, but it was supposed to be a little bit later because I thought I really did think Grand Prix assignments would be out, but I don't know. ISU is busy. Who knows? But yeah, technically the season ends on June 30th. I really don't care. Because of that, there would definitely be more retirement announcements. Like, I would not be surprised if the day I upload this episode, like five more skaters, not five, but like a few more, big, noteworthy skaters decide, hey, I'm gonna announce my retirement, and then I completely missed them in this episode. So I'm sorry, but I'm sure like by now, most skaters who have said that they wanted to retire have probably already said it, because they usually do say it, right after the Olympic season, right after things are over. And so if there's a couple more skaters who decide to announce a retirement, I'm sorry, I probably won't be covering them unless I don't have anything else to talk about. But there would probably be less, if that makes sense. Like, a lot of the retirement announcements come in April, May, and with the splits and new partnerships. And so by now, if they have announced it, they're not late, but like, probably not as many. You know what I mean? Yeah. Some of them did happen earlier this season, and I mean, like, maybe during the season, like in like November or like in February, but I was a little too busy. Um, and last note before we actually get started, I know I've been talking for a long time before getting into these announcements. Last note before we get started is that I tried to do the retirements, the splits, and not I tried, I did. I did the retirements, the splits, and the new partnerships that are actually factually confirmed by skaters, by their coaches, by like by people who have, the skaters themselves. Because um because there are certainly, and I mean very certainly, there are very certainly lots and lots of rumors flying around, especially on Reddit, on Twitter or X or whatever, on Instagram, that, oh, so and so actually announced retirement, or so and so is going to retire, or literally some people are so obsessive. They're like, I saw this skater in so and so's Instagram story. That must mean they're newly partners and they split up with the other one. I don't know. I feel like people are very desperate. We're all desperate for content during the off season, of course. But I don't know. Analyzing shapes of people's noses and analyzing people's shadows is crazy. But I don't know. Not my thing. But some people are really devoted to doing that. And so anyway, I did actually. I'm gonna talk about the ones that are confirmed. I will mention a few hubbubs, a few rumors here and there about who might actually retire. They just haven't announced it yet, stuff like that, but I'll save those for the end. Okay, let's talk retirements. These people are done with skating, done with competitive skating. I wish them all the best in their future careers, and whatever they decide to do, they go to college, or go to career, or they do whatever. I hope they all do good. In the men's category, I want to talk first about from South Korea, Seong Lee. I really enjoy Seong Lee's skating. From South Korea. He was, with Jin Won Cha, kind of Korea's number two man for a long time. He went actually to the Olympics back in 2022. He is very well known for his rip on jumps. Every jump he does has two arms above the head, which is very, 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 very unique. He has a very inspiring story as well. His mom's a single mom, I remember, and she was working really hard to fund his skating, and he was working really hard to fund his skating. Super inspiring for him to make the Olympics. Great skater. Always thought he had a very, very graceful presence on the ice. I know he was really inspired by Joshua Ferris as well, which is great. And he had a great choreography, great skater, very, very unique jumps. And he had a very sassy carbon back in 2022 that had like shoulder wags and everything. I don't know. It was genius. I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that program. Just saying. Okay. Also in the men's category, we had Yari Kessler from Croatia retired. This one I'm sad about because I've known he's been around for a while. Yari Kessler, he made it to Worlds a few times. He skated in the final in the free skate at Worlds, I think once or twice, I believe. But he was at the Skate to Milano Trophy back in September when skaters were trying to qualify an Olympic spot for their country, and Yari Kessler's program was to build a home, and in his free skate, and it was such a beautiful program. So many beautiful moments in that program. He had this one spiral where his hand was just gliding against the ice. It was so beautiful. And I remember, Ted Barton and Mark Hanreddy were commentating the event and they were talking about how he was such an artistic skater. Maybe the jumps weren't there, but he's a great skater. And so, yeah, I hope he is able to, maybe contribute more to Croatian skating. Great skater. Great. I loved it. I loved it. All right. From the US, we had Tomoki Hiwatashi announce his retirement, which was a big one as well. Tomoki Iwatashi, he was world junior champ back in 2019. Ever since then, he was very much in that conversation in that middle path of US men, I would say. And there were just a few moments here and there where he really, and I mean really, achieved a lot of greatness, and great results. And the best season he had was actually this last season that he had. I mean this last season where he just announced his retirement, he won two bronzes on the Challenge Series of the Kinoshita Cup and the Trialetti Trophy. He got a fourth at Cup of China, which was a huge result for him. A ninth at Skate Canada, and then he went to U.S. Nationals, and he was second in the short program, fifth in the free skate, fifth overall. But he really did put everything in, and to have your last retirement season, really, I really do think he's the kind of the definition of going out with a big bang. He had his best results, pretty much ever in his last season. He had his best result at U.S. Nationals for, like 6 years. He had his best result at Four Continents, best Grand Prix results. Great, good Challenger Series results, new personal best. I mean, what a way to go out! Truly, what a way to go out. And he announced his retirement. Fort Continents was his last competition, actually, and that was really good for him to go out with a good competition like that. Again, I don't know what Tomoki Watashi. I think he was gonna go to school. I believe. I don't know where I saw that, but I think he was. I don't know. I don't know. Okay, lastly, for the men, we have Vladimir Litvinsev of Azerbaijan, who is known for his strange, weird programs. Most recently, in recent memory, he was Lion King wearing leopard print. I cannot talk. Lion King wearing leopard print, and then he had a Joker program that was very viral. And unfortunately, he didn't get to perform his free skate at the Olympics, but I know everyone wanted to see that. But yeah, that was Vladimir Levintsov. Okay, so now for the women's, there's so many of them that have announced their retirement. I'm quite sad to see some of these names. Okay, first for the women, we have Eva Lotakibus from Estonia. She was so fun back in 2022 Olympics. She had a short program to Barbatex, and then she had a free skate, which was A Star Is Born. And I thought that Eva Lotakibus was just one of those performers that you just rarely see every once in a while. And I don't know, I loved her skating. I thought her skating was very honest. I feel like she was kind of putting herself on the ice, and she was spunky, and she had very big jumps, and when she landed those jumps, they were very impressive. Her triple toe was huge, and I don't know, just a great springing motion in her jumps. And I think she has been retired these past few seasons. She definitely did try to make that comeback. But I think retirement was, or not retirement, injury was the main reason that she retired. But I wish her all the best as well, because I think Ava Lotakibos was just so fun to watch, and I'm so sad that she's not going to be skating around no more. But yeah, I'm sad. Yeah. Yeah, and she said she was burnt out as well, wasn't having the best results after injury, things like that. And so, oh well, but she was a really great skater and she had great expression skills. Okay, from Eva to Ava Marie Ziegler in the US. This one, this one makes me so upset because Ava Marie Ziegler. I'm never gonna forget this. I'm never gonna forget this. I'm not gonna let myself forget this because truly, I truly thought, oh my god, Ava Marie Ziegler, next big thing in US women's skating, 2026 Olympic champion, all these big things, all these big things. So that was back in 2022. 2022, Ava Marie Ziegler popped out of the scene out of nowhere and she won like the first international victory for US women in quite a while when she won the Budapest trophy. At the Budapest Trophy, she had a free skate to Love in the Dark by Adele, and it is such a good free skate. It's such a good free skate. I go back and watch that thing at least once a month. Like, genuinely, 2022 Budapest Trophy, Marie Ziegler, free skate, Love in the Dark, Adele. Go watch it now. I mean, after this, but you know. And then she ended up getting Grand Prix assignment, and she was, you know, kind of on the bubble here and there. She was pretty good. So people were like, okay, Ava Marie Ziegler. But she was really good. And then all of a sudden, she gets a Grand Prix assignment the next season at NHK Trophy, and that was 2023 NHK Trophy. And she wins, and it was a big shock. And she actually had the highest free skate score of any US woman that whole season. And everyone was shocked, like, oh my god, Ava Marie Ziegler, who are you? You're about to dominate. She goes to four continents that season, she's fourth. But then the next season, she gets injured and she has surgery and all these other things going on. And that's really where, unfortunately, her career never really came back from that. She did come back for a few events this season. She was at a few Challenger Series events, just never really got the scores I think that she really wanted. It was hard coming back from injury, not having all of her jumps, fully returned yet. But yeah, I'm so sad that she announced her retirement. And I understand, yeah, she was injured. Coming back is always hard. Coming back to the Olympic season is probably even harder. But I'm always gonna remember that Love in the Dark Adele free skate because it's a beautiful free skate and she's a beautiful skater and just some great choreography, great expression, great jumps, great flips, great lutzes, just great jumps. And I really thought Abraham Ziegler, my dark horse for 2026 Olympic champion, but injuries, I mean, so good, so good. All right. Let's see here. All right, for women's, okay, next up we have four of the Japanese women. First one up is Mai Mihara, and that breaks my heart to hear because Mai Mihara announced her retirement from skating. Like a lot of other skaters, injury was the main reason behind her retirement. Coming back from injury is very hard. But Mai Mihara, she's known as the Cinderella on ice in Japan and everywhere in the whole world because of her very famous Cinderella free skate from the 2016, 2017 season where she was fourth at Worlds that season and she saved Japan so bad, getting two spots. Yeah, it was two spots for Japan, I believe. But yeah, was it two spots? It was two spots. Yeah. But anyway, Mai Mihara didn't make the Olympics in 2018, didn't make the Olympics in 2022, but in 2022, she went to four continents and she gave us what has to be the most beautiful thing ever, her Fairy in the Forest free skate. She is Fairy in the Forest, beautiful. And what was the season? Was it 2022, 2023 was the season of Mai Mihara. She won gold at both of her Grand Prix events. She won gold at the Grand Prix final. She did really well at Worlds. She did really well at the Winter Universiade that season. And she delivered the most beautiful short program. Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence. Mai Mihara, so good. So good. And I'll never forget Mai Mihara's just ability to jump out of her jumps. Does that make sense? She just jumps into her jumps and she jumps out of her jumps and she just has small leaps and glides everywhere. And I'm never gonna forget some of the choreography that she had, some of the skills that she could do, the pictures that she produced on the ice, just wondrous, beautiful, and I wish she made Olympics 3 times trying to go to the Olympics. I wish she made it once. I wish she made it back in 2022. I thought she deserved it, but Japanese Federation, like, please, please. But I'm happy for Mai Mihara. I know it's been hard, but I think she went out with a really good, competition back at nationals, and it was a good thing to see. All right, next one, I think equally heartbreaking, of course, that is Wakaba Higuchi. No, 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 no. Like Wakaba Higuchi, I feel like I missed this. Like, when did she say this? I don't remember. Again, another skater who has unfortunately struggled with a lot of injury, and that has really led to the decision to retire and everything. Wakabi Gucci, she like broke out on this stage. I want to say 2015, 2016, 2016, 2017 season. But her most famous performance of all time, of course, is her Skyfall free skate at 2018 Worlds, where she won the silver, where it was just the best free skate ever. After she was left off the Olympic team in 2018, like Mai Mihara, she went to Worlds that season and she won silver there. Huge deal, huge everything. It was amazing from Wakabe Higuchi. And then since 2018, she had a few moments here and there that were really good. Really great Olympic season back in 2021, 2022. She, went to the Olympics that season. Beautiful Your Song short program, Lion King free skate. One of the Japanese women to land the triple axel. Um, and I even saw a post on Reddit earlier this week that said, "Why didn't Wakabayashi Yuchi score more at the 2022 Olympics?" And I wholeheartedly agree with that because her skating was so powerful. Big, big jumps, big, big energy, great, powerful skating from Wakabayashi Higuchi. And then she went, she had a lot of injuries for a while. She came back. I'll remember, of course, 2024 Skate America. She won that event very surprisingly with her Stranger Things free skate, which is so good. And I just, yes, and she went to Worlds and she had a really redemptive season last season. This season with injury, unfortunately, not what she wanted, but we're gonna remember Wakabi Higuchi for just being a great skater, had powerful moments. 2018 Worlds, 2022 Olympics, and 2024 Skate America. Those are my three Wakaba Did It events. Yes. All right. Of course, we have to talk about, maybe the biggest retirement out of all the Japanese women, and that is Kaori Sakamoto. I mean, we knew this one was coming though. We knew that Kaori Sakamoto had already announced that the Olympic season was going to be her last season for a very long time now, and so we all expected it. But Kaori Sakamoto, of course, just one of the best Japanese women skaters, in her country's history. She went to three Olympics, which is, very much kind of unheard of for Japanese women, where there's always so much competition in that field. But Kaori Sakamoto fought to stay relevant, fought to stay consistent, and she was so consistent. 2018 she went to the Olympics. She was super young. Her Amelie free skate super famous. Few moments of success in that quad. 2022 Olympics ended up winning the bronze. No More Fight Left in Me free skate. Went to 2022 Worlds to win the first of three world titles, 2022, 2023, and 2024. Completely dominated. I don't remember which season was undefeated. I want to say it was the 2023 2024 season was an undefeated season for Kari Sakamoto, I believe. I don't know for sure, but I think it was. And then this past season, this Olympic season, of course, fighting so hard, just went out with the best, most elegant programs. And she ended up winning the silver at Olympics and fought for another world title in Prague in 2026 and ended off her career in a great way. And I mean, I think Kairi Sakamoto is so inspiring because she had great jumps, of course, great programs. Double axel was stunning, but very much so. I think, her staying relevant in such a tough field, such a tough national field, is such a huge achievement. And you have to understand that there were so many Japanese women all the time coming up from juniors, having comebacks, resurgences. And Kara Sakamoto was winning national titles. She was staying relevant on the international stage as well. And yeah, super, super great for Kari Sakamoto, but we wish her the best. All right, last Japanese woman I want to talk about is Hana Yoshida from Japan, who has announced her retirement. She was very, very promising in the junior field. She went up to the senior field. She qualified for the Grand Prix final, I believe, two times. She was landing triple axels, and a lot of people really appreciated her different music choice, and I appreciate it as well. I mean, she was skating to really, electronic music. What is it called? I forgot what the Kooks for Fuchs or something. What was it? But she had a really fun program in this like yellow dress that people were like, whoa. Very alternative, I guess, very spunky, very fun programs. Hana Yoshida, she had a very good program to SOS as well. That was kind of electronic as well. She was landing triple axels. She was practicing some of the jumps, and she had a really great career as well. So great for Hana Yoshida as well. All right, two pairs. I'm talking two pairs that where both the partners retired. First pair we'll talk about is Sway and Han, and this is their final retirement. If you know Sway and Han, they are very much well known. I mean, their career goes back to, I want to say, 2015 or something, when they were first on the world podium. They were silver at the 2018 Olympics. They were gold at the 2022 Olympics, of course, in Beijing, their home country. They had a big moment. They were landing quad twists. They were very much one of the most dominant pairs teams for a very, very long time across two different Olympic cycles. They went to 2022, won the gold medal in Beijing, and then they said they were done. At least they didn't say they were done, but they didn't compete again. So we all kind of assumed they retired. But all of a sudden, weirdly, they decided to come back for the 2025-2026 Olympic season, which was a huge surprise. It was honestly very much a huge surprise to see them back. A lot of people thought they, weren't going to do so well, but they ended up, being doing very well at the Grand Prix, doing very well at Fort Continent. They went to the Olympics again. Weren't able to defend the Olympic title, they had struggles on the jumps, they had struggles on the twists, whatnot. But I think they were fifth or sixth at the Olympics, and that's a huge achievement. Coming back after 3 seasons off and still managing to do extremely well at the Olympics across all these other teams that have rose up in the time that you were gone. Great achievement for Swan Han, and they said that this is their final retirement. So, you know, they're done, but very much honorable attempt at defending the Olympic title. Great result for them, and they'll always have the 2022 Olympic title with them as well. All right, now we have to announce the retirement of Miss Miura and Mr. Kihara from Japan, the pair from Japan, and I mean, they're the 2026 Olympic champions, and to retire off of the Olympic title is obviously the most satisfying thing you could do. But Miura and Kihara, you have to give them like big chops. Japan is not a pairs country, and they made Japan a pairs country. They decided to put Japan on the map. They first partnered up, I think, around 2019 or something, and they went to the 2022 Olympics, where I think they were eighth, I believe, or something. But I remember a lot of people, really appreciating their skating, really enjoying their skating, their support for one another, their great partnership together. And then ever since then, from the 2022 Olympics to the 2026 Olympics, they very much were the most, I would say, dominant pair, and they faced heavy opposition. I mean, there were so many top teams in this era. Hase and Roland rose up, Conti and Machi rose up, Slaughter Deschamps rose up. There were Kinnear and Fraser in 2023 as well. And so Miyakihara, despite not coming from a big pairs country in Japan, they were very much dominant, and they were very much winning, I believe, two world titles, the Olympic gold, obviously, lots of Grand Prix medals, lots of national titles too. And yeah, I think they have left such a great legacy for Japan, and I'm sure a lot of young kids in Japan are looking up at them, thinking that they could do pairs as well. And, now there's a few more pairs in the Japanese field, which is great to see as well. And so hopefully Japanese pairs will continue to develop. But a lot of that, not a lot of that, but a good deal of that, is that a better way to put it? A good deal of that maybe is being inspired by Miura and Kihara and all the teams before them as well, of course. All right. All right, lastly on ice dance, I just have two teams that have announced, both of their partners are retiring. Um, First is the Irish couple of Caroline Sisus and Shane Fires, who have announced retirement. First, they skated for Canada, and then they switched over to Ireland, and of course, they had a wondrous river dance, free dance, which was great for them. And I wish they went to the Olympics. I wish we got to see Ireland at the Olympics, but they've had a great career. They had a couple medals here and there in both, when they skated for Canada and for the Irish, sorry. But very good for them. And then the second team I'm heartbroken about, because I love this team, but it's the French team of Dupayage and Nabe, who always came with such interesting, contemporary, modern, experimental free dances. And I think that, I don't know, to me, the French Federation just never pushed them forward. I thought they were fantastic skaters. I thought their, body positions were so interesting. I thought they were choreography was so interesting. I thought their just whole vibe as a team, Dupayage, Nabe, I thought they were so interesting. And I'm not gonna forget, they won gold at the 2023, yeah, 2023 Winter Universiade with their amazing free dance. So I'm not gonna forget that free dance for sure, because they were very good at that. Yeah. Okay. Now for some of the rumors, I'm just gonna skip over these real quick because I think most people are kind of assuming that these people retired. But we have, for example, Madison Chalk and Evan Bates. Obviously, it would be a really big deal if they retired. They have just said it's pretty much confirmed in my head because they just said they're moving on to a new stage, and they haven't said the word retired or like leaving skating. They just said that they had other goals, focusing on show skating, etc. So I think it's pretty much confirmed. I mean, a lot of people seem to have this consensus that Chalk and Bates are done. I wish they won the Olympic gold this year, of course, but you know. Okay, second team that's pretty much confirmed is Maya Shibutani, Alex Shibutani, who were very much broiled in controversy with Alex Shibutani's actions that were terrible towards his sister. I believe this retirement is pretty much confirmed. I think all the interviews leading up to nationals and everything, it was kind of assumed that this is it for them and this is it. Yeah. All right. And then last one I want to say is kind of confirmed. I don't know. I really hope it's not, but Jason Brown, he has not made any indication that he's going to continue skating. He withdrew from Fort Continents, he withdrew from World as well. And yeah, no confirmation that Jason Brown is going to continue competing. So would it break my heart if he actually did announce his retirement? Yes. Yeah, it really would. Like, quite honestly, it would break my heart. And so I don't actually know if he is going to announce his retirement. If he does, I'm going to cry. But, if he does, I'll cry for sure. But I hope not. I really, really hope not. I don't know. Always lots of rumors, no official confirmations. Yeah? Yeah, let's head over there. Okay, let's talk about splits and new partnerships. And of course, this only applies to pairs and ice dance because in single skating, you're skating for yourself, so you're not really splitting with anyone unless you're splitting with your coach, maybe. But I'm not going to talk about coaching changes because there's so many and it would be so complicated. It would be so complicated, guys. So complicated. All right. Pairs. Let's talk about pairs. I'm not a huge pair, viewer, but this is super interesting, I feel like. Greta Crawford and John Crawford from Sweden split up. They're twins, so they're twins. But John Crawford retired, but his sister Greta, his twin sister Greta, is still competing, and so she'll be looking for a partner. I don't know a lot about them. They, competed at Europeans a few times. They were at Skate America once, I remember. And so we'll have to see where their career takes them or where Greta Crawford's career takes her, actually. But developing pairs in Sweden would be great. They have a men's skater, a women's skater. I mean, it would, help boost Swedish skating, of course, and that would be really great. Okay, next we also have the Polish team of Ulia Chichnina and Mikhail Wozniak, which I always say their names wrong, and I'm very sorry. I'm very, very sorry. But they have split up because Ulia Chichnina has retired. Um, and I think Mikhail Wozniak is looking for a partner, but who knows? No official announcement, I guess. But they were Olympics. They were Olympians together. They actually did really well at Worlds. I don't remember what year it was. I think it was either 23 or 24 that they had like a really, really good result at World. I don't even remember what it was, but good for them. Good for them. Good for them. The team of Olivia Flores and Luke Wang split from the US. They were very big on the junior stage. Sorry, they were really big on the junior stage, and a lot of people thought that Luke Wang was gonna split from Olivia Flores purely because his girlfriend is Star Andrews and Star Andrews was gonna go into pair skating, but clearly that did not happen. And so who knows really what happened between Olivia Flores and Luke Wang, but I hope it was, an amiable split and everything. And yeah, I hope both of them are very young. Of course, they were competing in juniors and everything. And so I hope both of them are, maybe continuing skating. Hopefully, we'll see. We'll see. The Australian pair, I'm so sad about this because I really do enjoy this Australian pair, Anastasia Golubeva and Hector Giotopoulos Moore. They are split up because Hector Giotopoulos Moore is taking a break from figure skating, I believe because of burnout and kind of just, taking a break from figure skating because that's the right thing to do for him and his life and his career and everything. And so, obviously, a good choice for him choosing his own path. We'll see where Anastasia Golubeva, she does have Australian citizenship. She might just be looking in Australia for another partner. We'll really have to see where that goes. Hector Giotopoulos more. We'll have to see where, maybe he goes. Maybe in the future they'll skate together again. We don't really know. Maybe Anastasia Golubeva stays with Australia and does singles. Who really knows? We'll really see what will happen between Golubeva and Giotopoulos more, where their respective careers take them. Kind of unknown partner search for Anastasia Golubeva. But I really love their team. I mean, they had so many great moments together. World Junior Championships, World Junior Figure Skating Championships. They medaled twice with silver. They won a Junior Grand Prix final. What else? They won a Junior Grand Prix final. They won a couple other things here and there. They had that really great Fort Continents skate back in 2020. Was it 2024 or 2025? I think it was 2025. I don't remember, but they did really great. And so, lots of great moments for them, lots of great moments of putting Australian pair skating on the map. All right. Next up from Italy is the loved team of Ghiardi Ambrosini. Rebecca Ghiardi, she's retiring, and Filippo Ambrosini is continuing skating with the Finnish skater Melania Valonen, who they are going to skate for Italy together. Melania Valonen was previously with another Italian guy named it was something Clarici, and they had a very beautiful, young and beautiful free skate that I'll remember. But yeah, Ambrosini and Melania Valonen, they are going to skate for Italy, and we will see. She's previously skated for Finland, and so we'll have to see where everything goes. Maybe they'll attempt to qualify for the next Olympics together. We'll have to see. Also from Italy is the very, very great team of Sera Conti and Nicola Macci. They are split up because Nicola Macci is going to retire, or he is retired now, and he's getting married, and I'm sure, thinking of other things and everything. But they're a great team, and Conti and Macci had a great career because they were skating together for a while, and they didn't really have a renaissance until this past quad, 2022 to 2026. They had a very big surprise, world bronze in 2023, which is super crazy, super surprising. They were great at Europeans. It just seemed like their consistency suddenly clicked for Conti and Machi, and they've had so many great moments over the past few seasons, and I'll remember their Caruso freelance for a long time because I loved it from this season. Obviously, going to their first Olympics together in Italy will be a big memory for them as well. Winning that team event bronze medal for Italy, great, great memories for them. And so Conti and Machi, yes, Machi's retired. Cedric Conti's looking for a partner. And at first I thought, oh, well, Filippo Ambrosini is right there, but I guess he partnered with someone else, Melania Valonen. And so Cedric Conti will definitely be looking for another partner, maybe in Italy, maybe somewhere else, but we'll have to see. All right. In Canada, we had two big pair splits, Fiona Bombardier and Benjamin Mimar split, and then Laurent and Etienne split as well. And Fiona Bombardier and God, I can't remember Etienne's first name. What's Etienne's first name, guys? Help, help, help. But anyway, they joined together. Lucas Etienne, that's right. But anyway, Fiona Bombardier, Lucas Etienne, they're now a new team together. And so yeah, that's a new hope for pair skating. I don't know where Benjamin Mimar is gonna if he's gonna continue skating, and if Kelly and Laurent is gonna continue skating, but we'll have to see. Similar situation kind of occurred in the US where the team of Audrey Shin, Balaz Naji split, and then the team of Katie McBeath and Danielle Parkman split. And now the new team is Katie McBeath and Balaz Naji. And so that's, something to look forward to. A lot of people actually found this one, I don't know, questionable, I guess, because Balaz Naji has had a lot of partners in the past few seasons, the past few years. A lot of people have said that he is not the best partner to work with. And Audrey Shin recently split from him because of emotional reasons, I believe. But a lot of people were saying Katie McBeath could like be a better match for him or something. I don't even remember. But I hope he doesn't treating his partners poorly, and that's why they keep on splitting up. But apparently he's very, very determined to get what he wants and things. So it's a good split for Audrey Shin if, it definitely was not a great thing for them. Audrey Shin, I don't know where she is going, but Danielle Parkman, the very interesting thing is that he has partnered up with Star Andrews. Star Andrews, of course, if you know, great skater, a great singles skater, has been skating singles for the longest time, and she has had such a she's had great moments in her singles career, made it on the national podium a few times, won a Grand Prix medal in 2022 at Skate Canada, which was a huge result. And yeah, she had great, moments here and there. After this last season, she decided that she was going to transition into pairs. And so, with that transition into pairs, she was obviously looking for a partner. And I guess Danielle Parkman was going to be the partner for her. So yeah, they're a new team. Very interesting. I'm excited to see how Star Andrews does in pairs. She has great energy. I'm sure she's a great performer. I think she would really shine in that regard. Okay, let's talk ice dance. So those are all the pairs, splits, and new teams. Let's talk ice dance. We had the new team. This was, earlier in the season, but we had the new team of Rika Kihara and Shingo Nishiyama form for Japan. And that was a very interesting one for me because Rika Kihara, if you recall, was a very successful single skater, in 2019, 2022, 2020, 2021. And then she had lots of injuries, unfortunately, didn't go to the 2022 Olympics, had a brief comeback in singles, getting some of her jump sack, things like that. Got injured again, unfortunately. And now she is teaming up with Shingo Nishiyama for Japan for ice dance. And of course, Japan doesn't have a huge ice dance field. And so I'm really hoping they're able to develop that further. But they had a program, I think it was Phantom of the Opera Arty or something. I remember liking it. I thought their partnership was great. They'll definitely work, more on their ice dance. The first season together is always difficult, but we'll see. We'll see where they go. And I hope there's more Japanese ice dance going on because it's great to see it. This one from Canada hurt me because I really like the vibe of these two together. And that is Alicia Fabry and Paul Iyer from Canada. They split up. I don't exactly know why. I don't remember the exact reason why. I think they posted it though. But I don't know. But Fabry Iyer, I thought they were a great team together. I don't know. They had good chemistry. I feel like I remember their rhythm dance at Skate America, I think in 2023 or 2024. I can't remember. I No, it was 2024 maybe. But I remember them having good chemistry. I thought they were a really great team together in that rhythm dance, and they really delivered their programs with good energy and everything. And so, but they decided to go their separate paths. Alicia Fabry has been rumored, and I mean rumored, to be finding a new partner. That is, God, I forgot his name. Why can't I remember his name? Why can't I remember his name? From Estonia. What's his name? What's his name? What's his name? Oh, Marco Yevgeny Gaidajenko. That's what it was. But yeah, apparently she's rumored to be skating with a guy from Estonia, formerly from maybe he's still skating for Estonia. Who knows? I don't know what they're going to skate for. But it was Marco Yevgeny Gaidajenko, and we don't know if they're going to skate for Canada, if they're going to skate for Estonia. But apparently they're going to skate together. And this was the thing that was like people were analyzing some shadow, some shape of a face, and people thought, oh, must be him. That's a rumor though. As for Paul Iyer, a lot of people noticed that he recently got Mexican citizenship, and a lot of people don't know if he's planning to skate for Mexico and finding a Mexican partner, maybe, or if he just got Mexican partnership because he has family in Mexico. Nobody really knows. I don't know. I really hope we get to see more of him. Obviously, I think Paul Iyer was a great performer alongside Alicia Fabry as well. So if he's skating for Canada or Mexico, who knows? But I hope we get to see more of him. All right. A very shocking split to me, to the figure skating community. A very shocking split was a split between Hannah Lim and Ye Kwan of South Korea. Everyone thought they were a really big, young, promising team. And genuinely, I feel like everyone thought they were going to be one of the next big teams in the next quad, but they decided to split. Hannah Lim, Ye Kwan, they were very successful on the junior level, actually skating for South Korea and ice dance. They transitioned into seniors quite well, I would say. They were a pretty notable team. Getting into that top 20 at Worlds is really important. Getting to the top 20 in the world, that's like that. Very, very important. They, went to the 2026 Olympics. Unfortunately, didn't qualify for the free skate, unfortunately. But, they were a great team, and a lot of people appreciate their very dramatic programs. Everything from Danse Macabre to this recent story of a military man and his wife in their free dance this past season. And so, they were a young team, but they were hitting into the top 20s at Worlds. And, I think a lot of people expected them to be even further. They were a very young team, and young teams don't usually make that, big of a move into ice dance, I would say. And so a lot of people I do think were, thinking they were going to stay together, but they recently split. I believe both of them are finding new partners. I don't know where, I don't know how. Both of them are Canadian. So, maybe they won't be skating for South Korea anymore. Maybe they will be skating for Canada. I don't know. IBK, who knows? Who knows? Yeah, genuinely, who knows? I actually don't know. We'll see. But that was a very shocking split. A young team, just up and coming. A lot of people thought they were gonna stay together. I certainly thought they were gonna stay together. Okay. The next shocking split, I was also shocked by this split because I loved this team. I thought they were so good together. They had already gone into Olympics together. I certainly thought they were going to stay together for another quad because they were already one of the big things in ice dance, and I thought they were going to become one of the even bigger things in ice dance. And that is a team of Marjorie Lajoie and Zachary Laga of Canada. I mean, there were so many great moments. They had that Rio free dance at the 2022 Olympics. They had their White Crow free dance that was super iconic. I mean, their Roses program at the 2024 Worlds in Montreal, where they're from, was super iconic. But yeah, Margie Lajoie, Zaki Laga split. I believe Zaki Laga is going to retire because he has a piano career that he wants to focus on. So good for him, obviously, if he has a piano career going on. That's great. That was what some people said. I don't know. Maybe he is maybe not doing that and he's going to have another partner or something. But who knows? But the new team that Margie Lajoie is in is Margie Lajoie and Jean-Luc Baker. If you recall, Jean-Luc Baker is originally from the US, and he skated with Caitlin Hawayak. And the two of them last skated, I believe, in 2022, 2023. Caitlin Hawayak and Jean-Luc Baker. They decided to take a step back and reevaluate their skating, and it seemed that they were skating together in shows for a bit, and it seemed like they decided to end their partnership together because Caitlin Hwayak has a big career in DJing, actually, and she's actually DJed for a few ISU events, which was pretty cool. John Luke Baker has been kind of involved here and there in choreography and, things in the skating community there, but clearly he's, in it to win it again, in it for another, few years, few seasons in the ice dance world because he has teamed up with Margie Lajoie. Margie Lajoie, Jean-Luc Baker, very, very interesting to me. They are skating for Canada, which will be very interesting. So yeah, I don't know. They're both obviously very, very well established ice dancers. They've both won major medals and everything. We'll see how judges take the two of them together if they're able to really put some great programs out there. We'll have to see. I'm very intrigued by this team because ice dance and its politics are very interesting, and we'll have to see how they affect this team of Lajoie and Baker now, which will be interesting. I'm gonna miss Lajoie Laga though. I can't lie, right? They're a great team. They were such a good team. Yeah. All right, and then last one to end off this whole episode, the new ICN's team of Marin Honda and Shoma Uno. I'm not lying, guys. I'm not lying. They're from Japan. Marin Honda, if you recall, 2016 World Junior Champion, great skater, had a few great results in her senior career as well. But ever since then, I think she's been more involved in choreography and things like that, shows and everything. So she's kind of been off the radar in terms of the competitive side of figure skating for a while. Shoma Uno is a single skater as well, and he has had some great results. He was, a world medalist for a long time. He was bronze at the 2023 Olympic, 2023, no, bronze at the 2018 Olympics, bronze at the 2022 Olympics, won a couple world medals, of course. He won a world title in 2022 as well. That was a big result for him. Did he win it in 2023? I can't remember. Yeah, he did win it in 2023 as well. 2023 Worlds, he did win the title there as well, which was huge for him. He retired after the 2024 Worlds, which is kind of an unexpected decision to retire in the middle of the quad, but he didn't want to continue skating anymore. Ever since then, Marin Honda, he's been involved in shows and everything. But there was footage going around of them practicing ice dance lifts, and people thought it was kind of a joke. But no, they're actually a new team. So yeah, Marin Honda, Shoma Uno for Japan, new ice dance team. Of course, like I said earlier, with the team of Kihira Nishiyama, it's great to see more ice dancers in Japan, especially ice dancers who are formal single skater. Very, very interesting, and we'll have to see where everything goes. But yeah, that is basically it. So I hope you enjoyed listening to me rant for like 15 minutes about all the retirements that made me so sad in figure skating, all the splits and partnerships in the pairs and ice dance, and new partnerships in pairs and ice dance as well. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Obviously, with all these retirements and new partnerships and everything, the figure skating world is going to, look a lot different the next season, and we'll have to see where a lot of these teams go. I'm very excited to see some of the teams. I'm very excited to see, some of the new skaters, some of the new teams going around, how everyone works together, what the results are like. Figure skating is, constantly bringing surprises, and I think these retirements and splits and new announcements are always part of that as well. So we'll have to see where everything goes. Unexpected as always. Ice is slippery. No one can predict anything. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed listening to this episode of Chainsaw Skating Podcast. My name is Ango. Today I talked about all the retirements and splits and partnerships and new partnerships between teams in the figure skating world. Next week, I hope to talk about Grand Prix assignments, but who knows? I will listen from you then. We'll see what happens next week, and bye bye.